Hey everyone, Violet here, and we're back with more books that I got in August that I need to fit on the shelves somehow. Yay! But today we're doing historical romances. Woo! We're gonna start off with A Gentleman's Gentleman by T.J. Alexander. This came out earlier this year. I believe it is a standalone. The notoriously eccentric Lord Christopher Eden is a man of unusual make, and even more unusual habits. But Christopher's pleasant, if occasionally lonely, life is upended when he receives word that he must find a wife if he intends to keep his family's fortune and the Eden estate. Christopher's situation is dire. As women do not appeal to him, his chances of making a wife happy are slim. Furthermore, if his quest to marry has any hope of his succeeding, he must acquire some more suitable staff. Enter James Harding, Christopher's new, distractingly handsome, if rigidly traditional, valet. The two strike up a fragile friendship amid the throes of the London season, a friendship that threatens to shatter under the looming shadow of Christopher's impending nuptials, and the secrets both men are keeping. With its heady combination of dry wit, slow-burn sexual tension, and nuanced portrait of trans identity, A Gentleman's Gentleman stands to transform the historical romance genre as we know it. So, I believe the hero of this book is a trans man. So, that'll be fun. I don't think I've read a trans protagonist in a historical yet. I know there is the one by, oh my god, I'll put it up. I'll put it up here. I don't know why my brain can't do it, but that came out a couple of years ago, and I feel so annoyed that I cannot remember who it is. It's fine. So yeah, excited to get to this one. Okay, then we have the newest Mary Balogh book in her Ravenswood series, Remember When? Okay, so the Dowager Countess of Stratton, Clarissa Ware, née Greenfield, has just presented her younger daughter to the Temps, and the rest of her life belongs only to herself. She returns to Ravenswood, intending to spend the summer alone there, but the summer has other plans for her. Born a gentleman, Matthew Taylor has chosen to spend his life as the village carpenter. Growing up, he and Clarissa were close. Dangerously so, considering his family's modest fortune. As a young man, he never would have been a suitable match for the daughter of the wealthy Greenfields. Clarissa married Caleb Ware, the Earl of Stratton, so Matthew married another, though he was widowed soon after. Now everything is different. Clarissa has already lived the life expected of her by society, and Matthew is as attractive and intriguing as he was when they were young. As their summer friendship deepens into romance, they stand together on the precipice of change. Essentially the same man and woman they remember being back then, but with renewed passion and the potential to take their lives in an entirely new direction. So this is I guess we call it mature, seasoned romance. They're both middle-aged. Very uncommon in historical. Everyone's parents are dead in historical. So, yeah, excited to read this one too. Okay, so I got, I think, the first two of this Kelly Bowen series that I don't know the name of. I'll put it below. We have Duke of My Heart. I feel like this cover, if you follow, my god, I can't think of anyone's names today. There's a sewist, a historical sewist on YouTube who did a thing where she was making historical romance covers look more historically accurate, and she did this cover at one point. So yeah, that was fun. So this is part of the Season for Scandal series. So, Scandal can be handled. Captain Maximus Harcourt the unconventional 10th Duke of Alderridge, can deal with tropical storms, raging seas, and the fiercest of pirates. But he's returned home from his lated voyage to find a naked Earl, quite inconveniently deceased, tied to his missing sister's bed. And he has only one place to turn. Now he's at the mercy of the captivating Miss Ivory Moore of Chegar and Associates, known throughout London for smoothing over the most dire of scandals. Miss Moore treats the crisis as though it were no more serious than a cup of spilled tea on an expensive rug, as though this sort of thing happened on the job every day. Max has never in all his life met a woman with so much nerve. Her dark eyes are too wide, her mouth is too full, her cheekbones too sharp, yet together she's somehow flawless. It's just like his love for her, imperfect, unexpected, yet absolutely true. So this sounds very, very fun. And then we have A Duke to Remember. Okay. Elise de Vries is not what she seems. By night, the actress captivates London theatergoers with her chameleon-like ability to slip inside her characters. By day, she uses her mastery of disguise to work undercover for Chegar and Associates, an elite agency known for its discreet handling of indelicate scandals. But when Elise is tasked to find the missing Duke of Ashland, she finds herself center stage in a real-life romance as tumultuous as any drama. Noah Ellery left the glamour of the London aristocracy to pursue a simpler life in the country. He's managed to avoid the intrigue from his past life, that is, until he lays eyes on Elise. From the moment he notices her intelligence and courage, Noah realizes there's more to this beautiful woman than meets the eye. But when Elise reveals her true identity and her true feelings for him, the runaway Duke must confront the past he left behind to keep the woman he loves forever. Intrigue. So yes, hopefully at some point I'll get the other books in the series as well. And then we've got How to Catch a Duke, which I believe is a part of the Rogues to Riches series by Grace Burrowes. I don't know if you could tell by my name, I have a thing for purple, so very excited about her dress here. I have come to ask you to kill me, my lord. Incredible quote. Miss Abigail Abbott desperately needs to disappear, permanently, and the only person she trusts to help her do that is Lord Stephen Wentworth, heir to the Duke of Walden. Stephen is brilliant, charming, and, when he needs to be, absolutely ruthless. So ruthless that he proposes marriage instead of murder to keep Abigail safe. Stephen was smitten the instant his sister introduced him to Abigail, a woman with the dignity and determination of a duchess and the courage of a lioness. When she accepts his courtship of convenience, he also discovers she kisses like his most intimate wish come true. For Abigail, their arrangement is a sham to escape her dangerous enemies. For Stephen, it's his one chance to share a lifetime with the lady of his dreams. If only he can convince her his love is real. Okay, so that sounds like a little romantic suspense-y. Very fun. Okay, let's see. We have Treasure Me by Robyn DeHart. This is part of the Legend Hunter series. I think this is the third one. Here we go. Okay, the Legend Hunters, the men of Solomon's meet in secret, their very existence only a rumor amongst the best of Victorian society. They are treasure hunters, men of wealth and title, seekers of myths and legends. And no legend is as captivating as the Loch Ness Monster. Cool. Okay. Graham Langford, Duke of Rothmore, has always been torn between his beloved Scottish homeland and his duty to the English crown. Yet his is truly an adventurer's soul, and he's determined to find a long-lost stone hidden near Loch Ness. Bookish Vanessa Pembroke heads to the Highlands to prove the existence of the legendary beast. Instead, she finds the first man who has ever shared her hunger for adventure. Soon, Graham and Vanessa are fighting a dangerous battle as well as their own simmering attraction. As their passion grows, so does the danger. Ultimately, they must risk everything to keep the cursed stone out of a murderer's hands. But can they survive without losing the greatest treasure of all, their love? So, this sounds very fun and like they're treasure hunting. That's exciting. Okay, we have The Countess by Claire Delacroix. Which is very, like, shiny foily cover. Be mine for a year and a day, and I will possess your heart forevermore. Driven from her late husband's estate, Countess Eglantine de Crevy fled to the wildest Scotland to claim a castle, only to find a ruin and a clan chieftain standing guard. Kinbeath was hers, she declared, vowing to rebuild the manor and launch a bride quest so her daughters could marry for love. But Duncan MacLaren had devised a bride quest of his own, swearing to win the land and the fiery countess in a war of secret seduction. Eglantine declared she would never be captured by this barbarian, yet Duncan awakened passions she had never known before. She promised to fight him with every weapon at her command, even as he vowed to woo her for a year and a day and make her his pagan bride. Each thought Kinbeath the prize they most desired, a prize to be won at any price, until passion turned to love, and the chieftain found himself fighting for the heart and hand of the woman he was born to possess. So I think this is Highlander. Sounds a little chaotic, but fun. Then we've got Dangerous by Debra Deer. I like the drama of this. I do feel like this suit feels very modern to me. Like that's just like a suit that like Glenn Powell could wear right now, you know? Okay. Amorous. Only a fool acted on emotion, but that was exactly what the Marquess of Andover had done when he allowed a mysterious beauty to lure him into her home. No sooner had he decided she was the most appealing female he'd ever met when the young lady drew a pistol and demanded he confess to the abduction of her missing cousin. Adventurous. As a confirmed spinster who had handled her family's affairs for years, Emma Wakefield felt she was more than equal to the task of apprehending her cousin's kidnapper. But when the Marquess escaped from her cellar and appeared in her bedroom, insisting that he would find the true culprit, Emma knew the tables had turned. For the first time, her life was quite out of her control, and unless she could resist his potent sensuality, this adventurer promised to become deliciously dangerous. This sounds very, very fun. Okay, so this is Julie Garwood's For the Roses, and that is that Jennifer Garner? I think that is Jennifer Garner. This was adapted, and I guess this is the film tie-in cover for it. I own the like tie-in sequel novellas, or some of them to this series. But I think I was like, I don't feel like I have enough context here, so I was like, I should get the original book, and it is thick. It's a long book. It's over 500 pages. So we'll see when we get to this one. Okay. So, in Bluebell, Montana, everyone knew better than to mess with the Claibornes. The brothers had once been a mismatched gang of street urchins until they found an abandoned baby girl in a New York City alley, named her Mary Rose, and headed west to raise her to be a lady. They became a family, held together by loyalty and love, if not by blood, when suddenly they faced a crisis that threatened to tear them apart. Trouble came to town with one Lord Harrison Stanford MacDonald. Armed with a swagger and six-shooter, he cut a striking figure, but it soon became apparent to Mary Rose that he was too much of a gentleman to make it in her rough-and-tumble town. She asked her brothers to teach him the basics of frontier survival, which he acquired with ease. Soon he possessed a deep and desperate love for Mary Rose. She returned his affection wholeheartedly, until MacDonald revealed a secret that challenged everything she believed about herself, her life, and her newfound love. Now her search for identity and meaning would begin, raising questions that could only be answered if she listened to the truth within her heart. So this is a Western, and it's thick, so I'm intrigued because I've never read a Garwood. I know she was not most popular for her Westerns. Her medievals are more popular, but, decided to give these a try. Okay, then we've got the first two in the Once Upon the East End series by Felicia Grossman. I believe she's only had 2 out so far. The first is Marry Me by Midnight, which I love this cover. It's so pretty. Isabel Lyra may be in distress, but she is no helpless damsel. To save her late father's business from the wicked Burrowes brothers, she needs a powerful husband, and quickly. Her solution: to host a series of festivals to which every eligible Jewish man is invited. As the synagogue custodian, Aaron Ellenberg is too poor for wishes and too jaded for dreams, until bold, beautiful Isabel presents him with an irresistible offer. Uncover her suitor's secrets, and she will provide him with enough money to start the family he's always wanted. Yet their bargain creates an unexpected bond, as Aaron falls for the brave, loyal spirit behind Isabel's charm, and Isabel for Aaron's kindness and courage. But with her family's future at risk and the last festival approaching, can Isabel find it in her heart to trust that nothing, not even love, is impossible before the clock strikes 12? So this is a loose Cinderella retelling. And yeah, I've not read many historicals with Jewish lead characters, so that'll be fun. And then we have Wake Me Most Wickedly. So here we go. Solomon Weiss has little interest in power, but to repay the half-brother who raised him, he pursues money, influence, and now a respectable wife. That is, until outcast Hannah Moses saves his life, and Saul finds himself helplessly drawn to the beautiful pawnshop owner. Forever tainted by her parents' crimes, Hannah sees only a villain when she looks in the mirror, no one a prince would choose. To survive, she must care for herself, even if it means illegally hunting down whatever her clients wish. So, no matter how fair or charming she finds Saul, he belongs to a world far too distant from her own. Only neither can resist their desires, and each meeting weakens Hannah's resolve to stay away. But when Hannah discovers a shocking betrayal in Saul's inner circle, can she convince him to trust her, or will fear and doubt poison their love for good? I think this is maybe Snow White retelling, because the last thing on here is like, the fairest of them all will do anything to win the heart of the only woman he cannot have. So I think it's Snow White. Oh yeah, like the apple. So yeah, Snow White, for sure. Okay. Oh, and then we get to the Hannah Howell of it all. Alright, so here's the deal. I own a couple of books in this Hannah Howell series and a different one, and I saw a ton of them at the used bookstore, and I was like, yeah, I should get them. I'll be like close to having all of them, right? There are like 22 books in this series. So even though I got 6 of them, I'm still nowhere close. I don't even have half of them. Well, okay, but because I feel like reading 6 Highlander blurbs for the same series back to back is just not gonna mean anything. Like, I'm only gonna read the earliest one I have, and then I'll just show off the covers for the other ones. So, Highland Bride. I think this is book 5 of the series. Okay. All right. Though she has yet to be courted by any man, Gillian Murray decides the time has come to visit the dower lands gifted to her by her father's kinsman. She arrives to find the small keep surrounded by 3 lairds, each one vying for her hand and property. Though resolved to refuse them all, the threat of battle on her threshold forces her to boldly choose a suitor, Sir Connor McEnroy, a handsome, daring knight of few words. As his wife, Gillian is stunned by his terse, cold distance, and her own yearning to feel passion in his arms. Now bringing her healing touch to a land and a keep ravaged by treachery and secret enemies, she dares to reach out for the one thing she fears she may forever be denied, her husband's closely guarded heart. Okay, so this is Highland Bride. This is Highland Angel, which is very reflective. We got Highland Champion. We have Highland Lover. You can tell when we moved to the ab covers. And we got Highland Barbarian. And we have Highland Master. Okay. Do y'all know the, like, Miley Cyrus meme of, like, people with blue eyes stare at you like this? It's kind of given that. Okay, and then finally there's the Werelock trilogy. I own one of them, and I got the second one, and I should have taken the sticker off of this because it doesn't look great, but that's okay. It is called If He's Daring. So sorry, you can't see his other beautiful eye on here. Okay. Stealing a stranger's carriage is the second most reckless thing Lady Catherine Griffin de Warren has ever done. The first is succumbing to her powerful attraction to the carriage's owner. Catherine has heard rumors about Sir Orion Werelock's family and their otherworldly gifts. He is the one person who can keep her son and his inheritance safe from her late husband's ruthless brother. As for how to protect herself, it may be too late for that. Orion is facing the worst danger a man of his ilk can find, a woman he can't walk away from. Catherine is an intoxicating blend of innocence and sensuality, and for the first time, seduction is far more than a game. But her beauty and fortune have made her a target, one that will dare him to risk everything he's known in pursuit of everything he's ever longed for. Okay, I'm calling it third act kidnapping. I feel it in my bones. Okay. Whew, last stack. All right, here we go. Stealing Heaven by Madeline Hunter. This is part of her medieval series, and it has a step back. That is that not just Colin Farrell? I love her dress, by the way. This is a very cute step back. Okay. Marquis of Anglesmore was not at all happy about being betrothed by the king to a woman he'd never laid eyes on. So when the brooding English knight accidentally came across her in a moonlit garden, he was both surprised and delighted. Intelligent, charming, and beautiful, she was the most captivating woman he'd ever met. But the magic of that enchanted moment is soon shattered by cold reality. Nesta is not the woman he is to marry, but her sister. Of all the women Marcus might desire, none could be more dangerous than the wild and tantalizing Welsh witch with secret ties to both rebellion and the king. For Nesta, no one could jeopardize her plans more than a man who would know the secrets of both her heart and her body. Yet the course of their lives and the destinies of their two nations will forever be altered as they defy everything to surrender to the most daring seduction of all. This sounds fun. She's like a traitor, maybe a witch. Yeah, definitely fun. Okay, and then we've got, I think this is maybe the only book by Edith Layton I own, which is For the Love of a Pirate. The cover designers on this one have talked about this one a lot because they're like, they're getting hot and heavy on the rocks, which is very uncomfortable. Edith Layton, I believe, is sadly no longer with us, and neither is Madeline Hunter, actually. She passed away this year. Edith Layton passed away a few years ago. So pour one out for them. He's searching for a proper bride. Constantine, Lord Wilde, is a gentleman beyond reproach. Now it's time for him to find a suitable gentlewoman to wed. A well-bred, well-behaved lady, as proper as, well, Constantine himself. But his plans are shattered when a fierce, aging pirate invades his home with shocking news. Constantine is already engaged to the brigand's lovely granddaughter, Elizabeth. Wildly independent Elizabeth, however, has no desire for marriage, certainly not to a straight-laced nobleman bound to her by some long-ago promise, even if she's tantalized by his manly form and the sensuality he can't quite disguise. Though shocked by the lady's improprieties, Constantine soon finds himself acting as lustily as any outlaw. But how does a staid gentleman win the heart of a bewitching pirate? So she's like, actually a pirate? That's fun. That's very fun. Okay, we've got Moonlight Mist by Laura London. This was a Dell book. Not Adele, a Dell book, like the publisher. Married in haste would she spend a lifetime repenting at leisure. Why, oh why, would Lord Melbrook, England's dashing poet laureate, marry a raucous imp with little dowry and less social position? Only Lyndon, his 17-year-old bride, and her fretting family knew the truth, for the arrogant aristocrat had compromised the girl, or so said an archly ambitious aunt, and nothing short of matrimony would stop the scandal. Astonishingly, Lord Melbrook agreed, but now Lyndon's pride burned. Her husband, it was said, had tasted the charms of England's most beautiful women, and even now kept an elegant mistress at a nearby castle. Did he think he'd been trapped by a conniving society chit? Though it might break her very heart, Lyndon was determined to set him free. So, I guess her family compromises them into marriage, and she's like, I don't want that. Leave me alone. Okay, we've got Hearts of Fire by Anita Mills. This cover, stunning. Oh my gosh. And it's a wraparound. Oh, look at that. Look at that outfit. Oh, the war scene of it all. Let's go. Okay. Fiery-haired Ghislaine de Lacy was as proud as she was beautiful. She defied the King of England himself when he commanded her to wed a lord she despised. The one man she did want she could not have as a husband. Richard of Rivaux's passion for her had ignited her burning need, but he was honor-bound to wed another. Yet as he defied death to rescue Ghislaine from royal wrath, and as he drew her into the perilous swirl of conflict between England and Normandy, Ghislaine and Richard knew that nothing would ever stop them from risking all for love and giving all to desire. See, this is the fun thing about medievals. Everyone's always fighting. It's great. I mean, not in real life. Like, combat in real life is not good, but in fiction, it's great. Okay, and then I've got, I think these are all three of the historicals Olivia Parker wrote. We've got At the Bride Hunt Ball, which I did get this used, but it ended up being an ARC. Oops. Okay. Oh, this is a fun way to write a blurb. Okay. I don't know if this is like the actual blurb or not for this book. We'll have to see. But anyway. Dear reader, watching way too much reality television may be the culprit, but it turned out to be my inspiration for At the Bride Hunt Ball, a light-hearted bride-to-be elimination romp set in Regency England. And it was so much fun to write. Imagine an arrogant duke resolved to find a bride for his brother. He handpicks 7 of the most eligible society ladies and ensconces them in his castle for a fortnight. Trouble comes in the form of my heroine, the only woman who doesn't wish to attend. And as she makes plain her feelings by knocking the Duke in the forehead with a lemon when he finds her trying to hide. I'm so thrilled to be a debut author for Avon Books. There couldn't have been a more perfect and welcoming home. Aw, that's cute. I don't know if this was the actual blurb. If it's not, I'll put it on the screen and pause it. Okay, and then we got to non-arcs, yay. To Wed a Wicked Earl. I do like these covers a lot. They're very, very fun. Okay. He's on the hunt for a bride. Adam Pharamond, Duke of Rothbury, needs to find a wife immediately, or his beloved grandmother will leave him penniless. But Adam, an unrepentant rake, would reform for only one woman, the woman he's lusted after and loved for years. It's rather unfortunate, then, that Miss Charlotte Green would never consent to be the blushing bride of a rogue, or so he thinks. Charlotte believes that the Earl, the only man whose touch leaves her trembling, would never want a woman like her. Weary of her wallflower ways, Charlotte decides that a friendship with the Earl just might give her the excitement she desires. Keeping their true feelings hidden, she and Adam plan a sham ceremony to placate the dowager. But when the marriage of convenience takes an unexpected turn, will Charlotte and her wicked Earl finally reveal their irresistible, unforgettable love and delight in a lifetime of passion? How are we going to fake a marriage in Regency times? Interesting. And finally, we've got Guarding a Notorious Lady. This guy's given some Clint Eastwood, I must say. Very fun. Exquisite trouble. A woman of pristine breeding, Lady Rosalind Devine is also an unrepentant meddler and snoop, which is why her brother refuses to leave her to her own devices while on his wedding trip. But Rosalind will not make things easy for any unseen, unwanted nursemaid, and vows to use her considerable wiles to expose her mystery guardian. Nicholas Kincaid agreed to secretly guard his friend's spoiled, stubborn sister, but her infuriating penchant for mischief is causing him to question his decision. Though bound by the rules of society and friendship, Rosalind's spirit and sensuality have sparked a fierce desire in Nicholas to play a very different role in her life, one that promises passion, ecstasy, and unavoidable scandal. Okay, so this is like brother's best friend, bodyguard shenanigans. Very fun. All right, we got 3 more. We have Joanne Powers' You and No Other. Here we go. Very rich cover on this one. A golden ring and a royal whim made them husband and wife. Wed. Here we go. All right, off to a great start. Wed at the age of 4 to a man she has not seen since, Lacey de Vere Fletcher stood before King Henry Tudor's court to have the contract annulled, and got nowhere. On the journey home, the spirited young Marchioness was attacked by robbers, then plucked naked from a lake by the most thrilling, sensuous man she had ever met, her husband! Matthew Fletcher never dreamed the wife he had so carefully avoided could be so vibrant and delectable. Still, the painful secret of his past forbade him to claim her as his own. Matthew was endearing, maddening, and made Lacey's entire being sing with his sweetness. Despite his contrary intentions, the delicate web of her affection slowly drew him closer. Yet when her bounteous estates fell under attack and she lay in the hands of a vicious kidnapper, she could only dream of the strong, sure man who would save her, the glorious lover who would one day take her to his heart in an everlasting embrace. They just don't write blurbs like this anymore. Like the drama, you know? I think this seems like it was 90s. Am I correct? Let's see. Yep, 94. This sounds fun. And also, I don't think I have many Tudor era books, so that's cool. Okay, and our last 2 are by Miss Sherry Thomas. We have Private Arrangements, which, this is the fun of getting used books. Sometimes they look a little bit janky, but that's okay. Wow, my light is too bright for this. We're going to turn it off for a second, so you can actually see it. Okay, there we go. It's a very light cover is the thing. Okay. Here we go. To all of London society, Lord and Lady Tremaine had the ideal arrangement. A marriage based on civility, courteousness, and freedom. By all accounts, a perfect marriage. The reason? For the last 10 years, husband and wife have resided on separate continents. But once upon a time, things were quite different for the Tremaines. When G.G. Rowland first laid eyes on Camden Saybrook, the attraction was immediate and overwhelming. But what began in a spark of passion ended in betrayal the morning after their wedding, and now G.G. wants to be free to marry again. When Camden returns from America with an outrageous demand in exchange for her freedom, Gigi's decision will have consequences she never imagined. As secrets are exposed, desire is rekindled, and one of London's most admired couples must either fall in love all over again or let each other go forever. So this is like a marriage in trouble book. You could maybe call it Second Chance as well. I don't know. Very angsty, I've heard. So, yeah, excited to give this one a shot at some point. And finally, we've got Delicious. I will say, these look like they have step backs. They don't have real step backs. Like this is Delicious. This is the step back. I need to turn the light off again because they're too pale. They're simply too pale. Okay, so this is Delicious. And this is the step back, which is fake. It's nothing. Ignore it. Okay. Okay. So, Delicious by Sherry Thomas. Forbidden pleasures are always sweetest. Famous in Paris, infamous in London, Verity Durant is as well known for her mouth-watering cuisine as for her scandalous love life. But that's the least of the surprises awaiting her new employer when he arrives at the estate of Fairley Park following the unexpected death of his brother. To rising political star Stuart Somerset, Verity Durant is just a name and food is just food until her first dish touches his lips. Only one other time had he felt such pure arousal. A dangerous night of passion with a stranger who disappeared at dawn. 10 years is a long time to wait for the main course, but when Verity Durant arrives at his table, there's only one thing that will satisfy Stuart's appetite for more. but is his hunger for lust, revenge, or that rarest of delicacies, love? For Verity's past has a secret that could devour them both, even as they reach for the most delicious fruit of all. So yeah, from what I understand, Sherry Thomas loves an angsty book. So if that's your jam, you should probably give her a shot. She is currently writing the Lady Sherlock books, I believe. So she's not writing straight up historical romance anymore. But okay, that was all of my single title historical romances. Next time I will be doing the categories. But until then, I'll see you all later. Bye!